Let's be completely honest. Are you happy with your job? The fact is, a huge number of people can't say yes to that. Too many of us are stuck in a job we've outgrown or one we never really wanted in the first place. But we stick it out and we give reasons like, what if the next move is worse? And I've put years into this place. And maybe the most common one, isn't everyone miserable at work? But there's a difference between reasons for staying and excuses for not leaving. It's time to get unstuck. It's time for strawberry.me. They match you with a certified career coach who helps you get from where you are to where you want to be, either at your existing job or by helping you find a new one. Your coach helps clarify your goals, creates a plan, and keeps you accountable along the way. Go to strawberry.me/career and get 50% off your first coaching session. That's strawberry.me/career.
And welcome to Haway The Podcast. It's Gavin. You join us today for a bit of a news pod. We're going to do some quizzing, I think, towards the end as well. Just looking at what's going on in the world of Sunderland AFC this week. Been a little while since we did a news pod, so we'll get you caught up on some of the stuff you might have missed. And joining me, first off, is Ant Watson. Hello, mate.
Hello, mate. Yep, all good here. All good here. Looking forward to the weekend. Hopefully getting the Fulham result out the way, getting it all get it all sorted out. Will be good. Will be good. Looking forward to the weekend,
Absolutely.
mate.
Absolutely. And also with us is another man who was on yesterday's pod with me, and we got a lot off our chests. I wonder if he's feeling a little bit better about things today. It's Andrew Smithson. Hello, mate.
Hello, mate. Hello, Ant. Nice to see you both. Yeah, Gav, you can't get rid of us at the moment, but I'm feeling all right. Not too bad, thanks.
Some interesting feedback on yesterday's pod, Andrew. We were just talking about this off air. We've had quite a lot of people reaching out and getting in touch to say that they felt some of the things we were talking about really hit the nail on the head when it came to the atmosphere around the game at the weekend and the subject of abuse and things like that. So I think we maybe touched on a few points that people agreed with, and if people haven't already heard it, they might want to go back and listen to that one.
Yeah, it did. We did kind of get on our soapboxes a bit, but yeah, the feedback is a lot of people saying the same thing, that really we need to perhaps call out some of the more toxic behaviour. You know, that's what it is, really.
Yeah. So if you want to listen to what we had to say about a variety of things, yesterday's Q&A pod obviously dropped yesterday. So if you haven't heard it already, make sure you stick that on. Me, Chris and Andrew are on that one. Anyways, today, lads, I did say we were going to do a bit of newsy stuff. And since I've kind of just talked about the abuse thing, there was a bit of news when it comes to Romaine Mundle, who, as people may or may not have seen, was the subject of some pretty horrific racist abuse by all accounts on social media, on Instagram, to the point that he deleted his Instagram account. And the journalist Anthony Joseph has reported that the Instagram users who sent racist abuse to a number of footballers in the UK over the weekend have been removed from the social media platform. Meta are in contact with Chelsea, Burnley, Sunderland, Wolves and Rangers, and they're also assisting the police with their investigations. I mean, and it was awful to see. Like, it just compounded a terrible day, didn't it, to hear that Romaine Mundle had been the subject of some awful abuse that had obviously really affected him. And like I said on the pod yesterday, me and Andrew had our say on things, but it's at least it's good to see, things are being done about it. But what more can be done about these sort of things? Like, social media platforms have got a lot to answer for, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree, and it's it's refreshing to see in that article that there is actually stuff that's been going on, because quite a long time it's just been allowed to fester, hasn't it? It's awful. And what I will say, I'm not sure these people are football fans. I think they're just maybe like hoying a bet on or something, and they've cost them a bet or something like that, and it's
Possibly.
shocking.
That has been the case in the past, hasn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's absolutely shocking. If that's a Sunderland fan, giving Romaine Mundle racist abuse, I don't want them back at the stadium. I don't want them supporting this club, because obviously, when you look at the vast majority of our first team now, they are black. We've got a lot of players, from multinationalities and everything like that, and different colours of skin and stuff. It doesn't matter, as long as you play for the badge, no matter what colour you play for. And I'm afraid, Gav, with all this, great. This is where society is at the moment. I think we've allowed racism to become a norm in this country. I really do. And, I'd end up going into politics and stuff like that. And I don't want it as a football podcast, but I think it's just shocking. And like I say, it has become the norm, which is awful. You've said there, you listed off 5 clubs there who had players targeted with racism at the weekend. It's 2026. You know what I mean? Football's come a long way since the days of the 80s and all that stuff. And it's just shocking to see, and like I say, I'm more sad that this is actually becoming, whatever, weekly, monthly, whatever occurrence, but it's happening all the time, and I really do feel for Romaine Mundle. What did Romaine Mundle do on Sunday? Missed a chance, and a missed a chance in a game of football happens every single game, in every single league. A footballer will miss a chance. Yes, it ended up, we ended up losing the game, but Christ almighty, man, you can't be going on like that. It's absolutely shocking, Gav. And you're right, as you say, what can these platforms do? Because all these people will do, you mentioned before, there's 5 accounts being deleted. They'll just pull up a phony account or whatever, and they'll be allowed to do it again. It's shocking. It really is. It's really, and it breaks my heart to see this happen on like I say, on a whatever weekly, monthly basis and stuff, and happen to these lads who are human. You know what I mean? Human beings, and it's shocking, mate. It's all I can say on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, well said. And Andrew, we were talking about this a little bit about on the pod yesterday when we talked about needing to support Romaine Mundle. Well, you'd like to think that within the club have done whatever they can to give him whatever he needs really this week. And I hope his teammates have got round him in the staff, and that we can draw a line under this and go into the Bournemouth game. He can contribute if he feels he can contribute, because I'm sure it's been a tough week for him, not just because of the racist abuse that he's received, but the abuse he received, just general abuse that he received for missing the chance. And yeah, I just really hope, like, wouldn't it be such a great story if Romaine Mundle could come in against Bournemouth and score the winner or something like that? It would honestly, it would make my day. It would.
It would be, yeah. It would be amazing. And we all want to see Romaine Mundle do well for Sunderland. Ant spoke really well there. And something he touched on about how, as a game we've progressed, you have to hope that Sunderland do know how to deal with these things. I heard a player last week after it all. There was an incident in a Real Madrid game against whoever Jose Mourinho's manages.
Benfica it was.
Was it Benfica? Aye.
Yeah.
And one of the players saying was one of the most hurtful emotions in it all is the sense of being alone, being lonely, and having to deal with this type of horrible incident by yourself. So I agree with you, Gav. I really hope that Sunderland haven't just come out with a statement. I hope that behind the scenes they've done the right things by him, given him support, asked him how he feels, asked him what he needs from the club and from the players as a group. And yeah, as supporters as well, we need to make it clear that this type of behaviour there's no excuses. It's totally unacceptable. And I don't care if you're Romaine Mundle or whoever. And says, we're all human beings. Just, I sometimes think, what are people playing at when they do that type of thing? But I'm never going to understand their thought process, because you're trying to work out the thought process of freaks and idiots and losers. I probably am a loser myself, but I can't understand what they're trying to do, what they think they're playing at. Got no time for that. And yeah, in answer to the original question, yeah, I really, really want to think that Sunderland as a club are doing right and standing as a bit of a beacon against all of this just utter depressing crap that is happening at the moment.
Yeah, you are a bit of a loser, Andrew, but we all are, with a good kind of loser. That's why we sit on podcasts every day talking about Sunderland. Got no better to do with our time on a night. And speaking of which, season card renewals this week. The club did drop that information, I think, during the game on Sunday, that renewals were coming up on Monday. And of course, I've renewed, regardless of the fact that the price has gone up. I'm presuming you have, Andrew. You'll be there again next season.
I'll be there next season. Again, I don't know if this is just me being a loser. I'm actually struggling to quite understand the prices. I can't find anywhere that just says how much your seat should cost, because I've seen a price for me. I've made a few clicks and you've had to go through a whole load of hoops to get to that point. I actually don't know if that supposed loyalty thing's being applied to my seat or what. So yes, I'll be there next season, and they could have put any figure on the screen and I probably would have just ticked the box. But maybe it's just me. Maybe the actual prices could be communicated better. Or am I being unfair there?
No, I would agree. I was going to come on to that. I think they called it your personalised price, but they haven't outright come out and said specifically what you're getting and why you're getting it. It's believed, basically, if you had a season ticket in League One, that your pricing is slightly lower than somebody who maybe bought it last season, but it hasn't been made clear. Maybe that'll be communicated out at a later date. I don't know. Obviously, I would wait to come to you, Ant, because, and people listening won't know, you've had some problems, haven't you? Because in terms of communication and stuff, you're a season ticket holder, a long time season ticket holder, somebody who has been going to the stadium since the days of Peter Reid, and you've come out with a higher price somehow. So you're one of the fans who's having a few problems. So it's not all rosy in the garden. Not everyone's like me and Andrew, happy to just pay whatever.
And you know what, as well, I'm happy paying what the price. Can I say the price? It's not going to be an issue saying the price, will it? So I'm paying like 716 is what I got quoted, which is like 140 quid more than what I'm paying this year. Which I was looking at, I goes, well, that's not too bad. But when I'm like talking to my mates who sit around with me, cousin, I'm like, well, I've only got this. And I'm like, so the lad sitting next to me, it was my cousin, who we've been going to games. I mean, I've been going longer than him. I'm 10 years older than him, but I've been going longer than him, and he's been quoted less than what mine is, about 50 quid less, about 640 odd, 650 odd. So, like, my kind of worry, well, not worry, my chagrin at the moment is when you've gone on to I've clicked renewal last night, clicked renew this, that, and this other price, but it hasn't said why my price is that. You know, it'd have been, oh, your price is that because you've only been going a season ticket for 2 years, which is wrong anyway. I've been going, like I said, I've had a season ticket since the Roker Park days. I've renewed every year. I've renewed with my dad, which I used to sit with my dad, obviously. My dad doesn't go anymore because of his health. I hope he's listening to this part of it because he'd be absolutely steaming. Being furious. But I've so when I stopped going with my dad, I started like sitting next to my cousin and my mate and all that. And maybe I'm thinking is that because my dad paid my card and I paid my dad back, that they're thinking that I've sort of just come on my own for the last 2 years, which is wrong. Like I say, I've been going since the bright days of Peter Reid, and through the lower days, been through the highs and the lows. And, you know, the League One stuff, now we're back in the Premier League. I'm like, yeah, it's great and stuff. But it's not as if I've gave up on them. I haven't gave up on them at all. So it's I don't know. I'm a little bit like, I feel at the minute is my loyalty being questioned. And I'm like, it certainly shouldn't be, because like I say, I joined this podcast when we were in League One, you know what I mean? So I was definitely going then. I even got Walsall away tickets. So I am a little bit miffed, and you know, I'm going to head down to ticket office on Thursday and stuff. So I'm sure there's a slight error, or there's something with the director or whatever, or like
we'll boot off for you. We'll boot off you. We'll tweet about it and all that. We'll go get it sorted. Chris,
I'm not going to boot off. I'm just going to. Yeah, I mean, I know Chris really well. You know what I mean. So I was going to message him, but I've no doubt his inbox is absolutely full. So I'm just going to head down tomorrow. I'm just going to see what the crap is, and then, like I say, it's not about affordability, Gav, because I can afford it. You know what I mean? I can't afford the ticket, but it's just like, why should I be paying more for which is like I say, I should I be paying more when I've been going as much as the people sitting around us or longer. You know what I mean? So that's all it is. I'll sort it out tomorrow.
Well, when the renewal info came out, and I think it was 5:00 on Monday, wasn't it, when you could log on to the website and have a look? There were tens of thousands of people queuing all night. which just shows you, doesn't it, Andrew, that regardless of the weekend's result, people are still keen to keep their seats, and with good reason, to be honest, because it's been a bloody good time to be a Sunderland fan, hasn't it? Like, let's not forget that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And that was one of the things we were saying on the Q&A pod, that people need to just remember how good this season's been. And there's the suggestion that the reaction to a couple of iffy results has been well over the top. It is great to see so many people desperate to keep back in the team. It shows how positive things are. And listen, I'm not an IT expert. I dare say it's difficult to coordinate all of this, and hopefully for Ant and for all the other people in the same boat, hopefully it's just like gremlins in the system that can be easily fixed. So yeah, I know I had a bit of a whinge about I wasn't sure if the information was as clear as it could be. That's maybe something that can be improved. But I do appreciate it's difficult. I also appreciate they will have been gutted with the timing. Absolutely gutted to have get it all lined up and all scheduled and all the PR and the marketing.
The video when it's talking about basically the whole video campaign was built around like till the end, and like we're pissing off 40 minutes early. But we'll not get back on that one. We'll get back on that one. We talked enough about that on the Q&A. But what was interesting was the fact that the club have introduced a proper waiting list for season tickets now. And I thought when they put that news out about the waiting list, because there's been a waiting list unofficially for a while, I believe, and it's only really now you can officially register it through the website and what have you. But I just thought it was really interesting that they waited until I think it was Tuesday evening to just put a reminder out, like, you can join the waiting list here. That felt to me like a sign to the people who haven't renewed yet. Get your tickets renewed, because there's going to be somebody waiting to take it. And I think that's a good thing. I think it's from a marketing perspective, the club have got to make these hot tickets. Like, you do not want to give this up, because if you do, you're going to struggle to get to games and you're going to lose your seat and all these things. Like, I go to when I look around, like me, I've got like, my dad, my brother-in-law, my niece, my nephew, all my mates. There's a big group of us, about 12 of us, go to the home games. So if any of us gave up our ticket, like, you're going to be missed out on the day out, they're going to the before and after the match and all that. So I think it was really interesting that we've introduced a waiting list, but it's a good sign, isn't it? And that we've got one, because I do think it's really important that the stadium has to be as full as it can be, to ensure that we have success, not just this season, but like going forward. And like, regardless of what we've had to say about early leavers and all these sort of things, I think the fans are such a huge an important part of the whole package when it comes to coming to Sunderland games, and that was a big thing they focused on in that video. It is a good thing, isn't it, that we've got this waiting list. It does make us feel quite proud that we've got enough fans to warrant a waiting list.
Oh, 100%. Like I say, if you flash back 5 years, if you'd said to us then, you'll have a waiting list 5 years later in your first season in the Premier League, you'd be like, whatever. You know what I mean? So it is good. Yeah. It's good to see that there's interest. You know what I mean? And also as well, with all this, supposed stadium plans and extension plans, it'll show that maybe we can do that. We can fill that. So which would be outstanding. So yeah, it's good to see. Get your interest in, get it in early. Just don't nick my seat, because I will be sorting my ticket out one way or another. So I'll definitely be going next season. So don't worry about that.
We're going in windmilling whoever's in your seat.
Yeah. But you're right. It is. It's as you said before, it's a day out. It's a day you said with your family and stuff like that. And like I say, I used to sit next to my dad from like this side, as tall as I am now. You know what I mean? And I just moved to sit with my mates because he wasn't going. But I love my seat. I love sitting where I sit. I love going to the stadium. I've gone to the pubs beforehand. I've done the pubcast for you afterwards, Gav. So it's a good day as it is. But yeah, it is. It's great. And like I said before, it can only mean good things for the club if we have these people who are on a waiting list. Yes, you might be waiting a long time or whatever, but it's a superb idea. And I will say on that video, absolutely amazing video. I know, as we said before, the timing is not great, but the video is tremendous. And it just shows as well, again, how far the club's come. Can you remember that one a couple of years ago when it was that lad in the funeral thing going, "Oh, yeah, lads," and all that? We've gone from that a lot. It's just tremendous. And David Bruce, won't you, who's done that, and just an amazing job once again by him.
Yeah. Another great use of the Why Not agency, who they also did the Granit Xhaka video, which plays before the game. So good, a local firm, and I think the lads behind it actually used to work for the club as well. So yeah, good use of local talent. We're going to chime in quickly there, Andrew.
Very quickly, Ant's quite right. I mean, David Bruce is one of the best in terms of marketing. He's got a great CV and experience, so it's no surprise that things like that are improving. That waiting list hasn't been released by mistake. That has been deliberate, like you say, to just getting people's shells. Oh, this is a hot ticket. There is still a buzz about the club. Like, I've been in town today, and these adverts for the season tickets, they're on all the electronic billboards. They're in the Echo. It's not made up. It's not like in the past where season tickets were just an afterthought. All I would say, though, to your mates there, Gav, about the marketing campaign and the videos, that Granit Xhaka one is awesome at the stadium, by the way. I think next season's the theme should just be typical Sunderland, because just the timing of it, you couldn't have written it to be any more classic Sunderland. So yeah, next year's theme should be a Mickey take of that, I think.
Yeah, and quickly before we jump to the break, actually, I almost forgot about this, but I know Ant touched on the price increases there. You were saying you would pay whatever, Andrew. Are we pretty happy though across the board that it's fair? Because I am, if I'm honest. I think somebody in our group chat sent a screenshot of I think it was Sheffield Wednesday's season card prices from this season, and Sheff Wed, who are bottom of the Championship, heading to League One, already relegated. Some of their fans are paying extortionate amounts, more than I am, to watch that. And I mean, that's not justifying what we're paying necessarily, but it just shows you, doesn't it? We're getting pretty decent value for money coming to watch Sunderland in the Premier League. I think it works out 500. I don't mind saying what mine is. I think it was 560 quid for the Southwest corner, which isn't a massive increase. I think it's an increase of about 15%. Which again, I'm happy enough. I haven't heard many people complain about the price, and I don't know if you two have.
No, not really. No, I think pricing wise, it's still probably one of the cheapest, if not the cheapest in the Premier League.
Yeah.
No, it's still a, for 20 games, 19 games in it, so and cups or whatever. But it's still, as you said, to watch the players that we've got now, compared to what we had, like I said, in League One or whatever, you would pay that, wouldn't you? You'd pay that for Premier League football. And so I think, even though I'm having my issues with what's going on, I still can't. I mean, like I say, the 716, I'll happily pay if that's what I have to pay. It's just I don't think I should. So it's like I'm just thinking it should be a little the same as your cousins and my mates. That's all I'm whinging on about, really. But I would happily pay that. If everyone was paying 716, Gav, I'd pay it no problem. You know what I mean? So it's still relatively well priced.
And you're trying to drive our prices up, you.
I was just going to say, aren't you trying to get everybody out of pocket now? And listen, price increases are a fact of life, aren't they? It's sad that that's the way of the world, and we all wish our season tickets were free and you'd get given your season card by Reggie Slabris personally. It doesn't work like that. We're a Premier League club. We've got to to a point pay to help sustain that. I don't get the feeling the club are taking advantage of loyalty at the moment with prices.
No, and I think crucially the bit to remember is that the money goes back into the club. So, particularly with all these cost control measures the club are bound to, you're only allowed to spend as much as you make, essentially. So, we've got to think about these things. When we're buying our shirts and we're buying our season tickets, and you're getting pints and pies in the ground, at some point it goes back to what comes out on the pitch. You're helping towards things like wages and playing budgets and all that stuff, and fancy new lighting systems and whatever else comes with it.
We all like to pat ourselves on the back for our good numbers in terms of supporters. Well, that's no use to the club if we're all saying we're supporters, but they're getting absolutely nothing from us. Again, it's just a sad fact of how business works. if Sunderland are to make the most of their natural resources, one of which is we have good average attendances, they're going to have to charge accordingly.
Yeah. And I think they've probably thought long and hard about this, and I mean, basically rewarding the most or the perceived most loyal fans with the lowest pricing. And I'm not taking at you, Ant, there.
No.
You'll come out of this all right.
It's just been a mistake.
But
I tell you what, though, Gav, I'm expecting us signing like a world class footballer. Like, if that's what I've got to pay.
No extra 50 quid. You
I
want
will
Usman
Usman
Dembele.
Dembele, please.
Yeah. So yeah, like I say, I'm not complaining too much about it. I kind of understand it's the way it needs to be. I bought me ticket in the Championship for this season, so I would have been paying that price to watch Sunderland v Oxford, Sunderland v Portsmouth. You know, all that shite that we've got away from, thankfully.
And to be fair, Gav, for the club last year to leave the prices as they were for this year was good of them, because they could have easily upped that. You know what I mean? For people that hadn't done the renewal and stuff like that, but they kept it as a reasonable price for Premier League, which was excellent by the club. So we're always going to have something a little bit more, you know, up echelons of price. You know what I mean? So fair play to the club. And like I say, it's still affordable. So yeah.
Well, that's it. That's it, isn't it? Right. I think we'll shoot for a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about Granit Xhaka's injury management and a rumour about Robin Roefs being wanted by Chelsea. And then, of course, Andrew's quiz, which he's prepared, which if you want to play along at home, you can. And bear in mind, Andrew's last attempt at hosting a quiz, you might want to stick around for that.
Where, man?
We'll see you after the break.
Your favorite local grocery stores like Kroger, Ralph's, Fred Meyer, and more are now delivering on Uber Eats. Get 40% off your order of fresh, quality ingredients. Whether you just got home to an empty fridge or suddenly got a craving to whip up something new, you can get everything you need delivered in as little as 25 minutes. Get 40% off your order with code Kroger2026. Plus, members get $0 delivery fees. Order now on Uber Eats. Orders of $30 or more save up to $25. Ends 4/30/26. See app for details.
And welcome back to Haway The Podcast. And as I said before the break there, we're going to quickly chat about a couple more news items that I think are worth talking about. First off the bat, let's talk about Robin Roefs, actually. There was a story from Alan Nixon, that Alan Nixon who you all know about, the fella who loves a transfer rumour and blocking people on social media. He has claimed that Chelsea are looking very, very closely at Robin Roefs as a target ahead of the off-season, and he believes that Sunderland would accept around 50 million quid for Robin Roefs. Now, whether that's true or not is up for debate. With it being Alan Nixon, you just haven't got a clue, really, Andrew. But it's already started. You know, rumours linking our players with moves away in the summer. And to be honest, we know how these things work. Any club worth a salt will already be thinking about the summer and what they can do. And we know what Chelsea are like. They love to spend absolute fortunes on young players. So you wouldn't be shocked, would you, at all, if something like this happened as quickly as this?
No, you wouldn't be. And from what I know of Chelsea, I think goalkeeper is one of their problem positions. I think that's
They love signing a keeper, though, don't they? I think they had like 8 senior keepers 2 seasons ago. They love a keeper.
Aye. Well, I suppose if you have enough stabs, you'll eventually find a decent one. And
Roefs, still struggling.
Yeah, Roefs could be the man to fit the bill. But listen, we all know the transfer market. It's a game almost in itself. Yeah. We know how it works. And I've heard a few people starting to panic about, oh no, is Roefs going to be going? Is Siddiqui going to be going? Again, it's just another fact of being in the Premier League. If you want to have a decent team, you're going to have to expect clubs to be circling. And it's a hell of a lot better than in the past where we couldn't get rid of players for love nor money. I'd much rather it this way round.
Mm-hmm. No, that's it, isn't it? And I think if your players are being linked with £50 million moves, you've done something right in your recruitment, haven't you? I mean, I think I kind of touched on this on a pod the other day. I don't really want to lose these players, but I accept it's just part of the way things work. Like when we were just talking before the break about season card prices going up. I understand this is just what happens. When you're a good team, a good club that is well run, this happens, and, you know, it is what it is. And good example would be Brentford, wouldn't it? Really, you know, we were all saying in the summer going, they're going to struggle. They're a shoe-in to go down. Just look at them, they're flying, and that's after a summer where they lost. They felt like they lost everything. So I don't think you should, if you've got faith that you're a well-run club, you shouldn't fear losing players. As much as I love Robin Roefs, like, imagine what we do with the money we get from a player like that. We'd go out and sign someone just as good, and then some, hopefully, is what you would like to think will be the case.
That's it. Yeah, no, I think you're right. And I think, to be fair, the fact that even Chelsea are contemplating a bid for this lad, who is as we're saying, is his first proper season, isn't it? And I mean, he's done brilliantly. He's done absolutely brilliantly. I think, I think a couple of fans are nitpicking with him.
Is he the best keeper we've had in the Premier League? Seriously, I think he probably is. I know he's conceded a few more goals recently than he has done, but he's up there, isn't he? I think is it too early to say that for you?
He's up for me. For me, I'll always say Sorensen. Like, I think Sorensen was unbelievable. But possibly he's up there. I think he's definitely a chat of being, top 3, top 5. But obviously Mignolet as well was good. Mignolet had a good. We've been blessed though. We've always had, apart from the Kelvin Davis debacle, we've always had good goalkeepers, haven't we? Like Mark Pugh, Thomas Meyer was a number 2, wasn't he? We've had some really good goalkeepers. No, we'll not mention him. But for me, Tommy Sorensen will always be my favourite goalkeeper player for Sunderland. But it's a kind of similar situation where Sorensen came and no one knew who he was. He had a good, proper standout season in the Championship, which is different to Roefs. But then he took to the Premier League like just like a dove out of water. He was unbelievable. And Roefs has been, like I say, absolutely outstanding. I think the last couple of weeks I've just seen a slight error in his game where the teams, I think, are bending corners in on him, where he struggles to get off his line, which is something he'll learn on. They'll definitely sort that out. But you look at, like, even on Sunday when we weren't playing well, he was probably our most attacking-wise player with the balls over the top, wasn't he? Which is another something he's added to his game over the season. His distribution's been outstanding. He's just a proper good goalkeeper. It doesn't shock me that Chelsea are in for him. And you said before, for reinvestment on him. You look at, like, we've signed Helllllllloooooooooo, isn't it? The lad who's on the bench now, who's apparently just as, the same kind of ability as him and stuff like that. And you also remember we've got a young lad in Matty Young who, if everything goes well, we want to be starting for us in 2 or 3 years' time. So it's a good position to be in. 50 million. I actually think 50 million's a bargain for him because I think he's that good. I think maybe towards 70, I would probably say we should be looking for. But you're right. The only problem I'd have with going to Chelsea is he'd probably be shipped out on loan to some Dutch team in a year and a half's time, which would be no good for him. But I can fully see him, being in the Champions League in 2 or 3 years' time because he's just that good. And we've just got to. That's what we've got to strive towards, that, haven't we? We've got to strive towards. At some point in our season, maybe not this year because we're falling off a little bit, but in the next 2 or 3 years or whatever, pushing for Europe, getting these players all there, could be a European team, and then try and get up there with the best of them. But that's the way we're running things, so it's fair enough. And you always remember and I say in inverted commas again, the model was to sign them, make sure that they play well, and we sell them for a big profit. You know what we've done with Joe Bellingham. So it's always going to be that at Sunderland. Don't get too attached to these players because they'll not be here forever. Which is what it is. It's how football should be run now, and we're running it brilliantly. So you mentioned Brentford before. They got rid of. They never got rid of. They had to sell Mbeumo, was there? I don't know who went to Arsenal. He was the captain last year. I think they lost the goalkeeper. And you look at them this year; they're absolutely flying. Got a striker no one heard of, and he's the second top scorer in the league. So it's class. And then the models to look out for.
Yeah, there's something nice when you say the word model. I haven't heard that in a while. The model feels like wearing an old pair of slippers. Just comfy and secure feeling about saying the word model. But yeah, well, you can add something, Andrew. I feel like you were just chirping up there, no? You look shocked.
I was nodding along in agreement with both of you. But just very quickly, in terms of is Roefs as good as Mignolet and Sorensen? I think in terms of ceiling, he could potentially have even better careers than both of them.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. They both had great careers, but he could do even more.
Well, for McNally and Sorensen, Sunderland was probably the peak. I know McNally went on to Liverpool, but they didn't really like him there, did they? So
McNally is still going as well, isn't he? Isn't he?
He plays for Club Brugge. He's still playing in the Champions League. Still going. Yeah, he was playing with Talby last season.
Yeah. I did like him. I did like him.
Yeah, I think we did a top 10 pod in the summer, and I might have voted him number one. I'd need to go back and listen, but I'm pretty sure I gave McNally my number one spot. I liked Sorensen, but there's something about the way time has passed that I feel like he was quite fortunate to be in such a good team as well. And I don't know, I'm not doing him down with that, but I can't remember Sorensen having loads of games where he had to keep us in the games and make save after save after save. Whereas with McNally, he was like a one-man team in that season when he won Player of the Year.
Basically, what we're saying about Robin Roefs is, once he saves a penalty against the Mags at St James's Park, he'd be top one. Yes, that's what Sorensen and Mignolet did.
Absolutely. Yeah, maybe he's about third at the minute.
All right, but then there's a game in a few weeks' time where he could, and he's a good penalty saver.
Absolutely. Anyways, very quickly on Granit Xhaka, I don't know if you saw the quotes that came out on Wednesday from Regis Labrise about his injury, but he basically said they're being very cautious with him, Andrew, and they're not going to rush him back if they don't have to. Getting him on the pitch against Fulham was basically a test to see how his ankle's doing. So it sounds like whatever this problem is with his ankle is a long-term reoccurring issue that he just has to manage, which is it's a bit disappointing, isn't it? I'm a bit gutted for him. Hopefully he can manage it out, but is it going to impact him later in the season, or we're going to have to rest him more? Like all these when I read those quotes, that's just what came to my mind. I might be overreacting a bit, but maybe it's a reminder that Granit Xhaka's 33-year-old and not a spring chicken like he. I'm older than him, but Jesus Christ, he's not the spring chicken he once was. He's getting on a bit now as a footballer, and we might have to look after him a bit more than making him play every single minute of every game.
Possibly, but he's a ultra professional type of fella, so he'll manage himself as much as anything else. And if that's the way it has to be, that is fine. Again, we always compare it to what would happen in previous eras. I don't think Sunderland would have the ability to take it easy. Do you remember Jan Kirchhoff? Allardyce knew how to work him properly, but then Moyes just ruined him.
Yeah.
If Labrise and the medical team and Xhaka himself are all on the same page, and it's they all know what the plan is, that's good enough for me. And listen, Xhaka for 30 games instead of 38 games or whatever is still an amazing tool for us to have.
Indeed. And you just again stirring my memory talking about Jan Kirchhoff. What a player. 35-year-old now, he'd still do a job. I don't know. He hasn't kicked a ball in 5 years, but you never know. If we need some backup for Granit, get him on for 20 minutes at the end of games. Very quickly before we come to your quiz, Andrew, under-18s progressed in the FA Youth Cup on Tuesday night. You were there. How was that? How did that go?
It was an enjoyable game. They've had a couple of good games in this cup run, and I think playing at Ebbleton suits them. And yeah, there was I would say the majority of the lads played well. It was an entertaining game, really good performance, and yeah,
was it Brighton that played, by the way? Was it Brighton?
It was Brighton this time.
Yeah.
I think we've already beaten Forest and Derby, if I remember rightly. But plenty of players there that you look at and think, oh, they might have a future if they keep going along those lines. So
who stood out? Who stood out?
I'm really liking he's a midfielder called Charlie Dinsdale. He's really good. I like him. Finn Garaguson is somebody who's already getting a lot of headlines, but he's a good physical striker. But there's several. There was a lad played left back called Bailey Hester. I've seen him a couple of times now. He had a fantastic game in this round. So there's a good few, and another one. I really like the look of the keeper, Cowan. He was important in the last round. He saved a couple of penalties. He's obviously been training alongside Robin Roefs. he's a quality keeper by the looks of it. And
So we've got
he's
plenty
like
coming
quite young
through
as
then.
well, Andrew, isn't he? He's like, was he 16?
yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't seen much of him, and I think he's maybe kind of. Oh, I don't even think he's been a regular with the under-18s too long. I'm just want to say now, apologies to any names I've missed out on that team, because there was nobody played bad. You know, everybody did well.
Yeah, well, anybody who didn't manage to watch the game, because I think it was streamed as well. But anyone who didn't manage to watch the game, Andy did player ratings for that. You can maybe read up on some of those names and note them down, and maybe in years to come, you'll be seeing them turn out for the first team. Bailey Hester actually got Andy's man the match. He said some really good performances all over the pitch, but I thought Bailey Hester was electric while the game was still alive, helping us to get into the 3-goal lead, which meant the red card wasn't a particularly big factor in the game. Who got a red card?
It was one of the centre-backs. It was similar to the last round. We had a couple of players sent off there. We were 2-0 up in the last game, and we got pegged back because of a red card. This time around, we were 3-0 up when we had a player sent off. And it was one of them where he kind of had to pull the lad back, because of otherwise he would have been clean through. Centre-back. I can't remember his name.
Charlie Forsyth.
Charlie Forsyth. Yeah, I'm just reading off the club's website there.
Okay.
You mentioned Cowan as well, Andrew. We've had 2 Cowans play for Sunderland down the years. Any ideas?
One of them was a keeper, wasn't there? Was it
Jimmy Cowan? Yeah. Jimmy Cowan. How do you know that? He played 29 games for Sunderland in 1953. How the hell do you know that?
Because I've talked about him on and on this week podcast.
Of course.
Just very quickly on Charlie Forsyth. His first yellow, a couple of the Brighton players were working their tickets saying it should have been a red. I'm not even sure it should have been a yellow for his first book, and he's mistimed a tackle, but it was a genuine attempt to get to the ball. So he can think himself a little bit unlucky to have been sent off.
We haven't had a Forsyth make a senior appearance. No Brucey. So he might be the first. And if Kelvin was here, there'd be some sort of Bruce Forsyth innuendo joke there. Good game, or something like that. I don't know.
Shaking his hand when he comes off the pitch. Nice to see you. If he scores, he's got to do the celebration. How about Charlie?
Some top performances all by the sounds of it. So yeah, well done to the lads. And I think they play Man U in the next round. Is that right?
Yes, they're away to Man U in what must be the quarter-final stage. And you mentioned before we recorded, Gav, I'm not going to rip this off as my own stat. You brought this to my attention. Isn't it the best run since the days of Jordan Henderson and Jack Colback? Fair play.
Yeah, and fingers crossed to do well. And of course, with it being Man U, you would expect it'll be streamed on MUFC TV or whatever it is. So we should get to watch the next game as well. Wouldn't it be great if the lads got a good run in the cup and so did the first team? But yeah, lots of positive stuff there. Lovely. Right. Anyways, the bit I've been waiting for, the quiz, Andrew. Now, we weren't sure whether we were going to touch on Bournemouth too much tonight. We haven't. We'll save that for the preview pods. Of course, tomorrow Chris is joined by an opposition guest who will be giving us the lowdown on Bournemouth, and then we'll have the match day preview. But this is the first little test, the little teaser going into that Bournemouth game. You've prepared a bit of a quiz for us, haven't you, mate? So if the people at home want to play along, get your pens and papers, and maybe we can get through this without mistakes this time. Let's see how we do.
Oh, Gav, man. You're never going to let us forget that. Absolutely.
No.
One of the questions isn't how much am I paid for my season ticket, is it?
Nobody knows the answer to that one yet, though. So that can be the bonus. The bonus question.
I'll keep you updated. Next time on the pod, remember, just say, have you started that? I have.
What's the difference between Ant's price and the price of the fella behind him, who's never been to a game before, but is being given like a massive discount? We didn't know if we were going to touch too much on Bournemouth and look ahead to that. I did do a bit of reading about our last trip to Dean Court. although it's not called that now. It was David Moyes' first league win, and it came on bonfire night, and that is not a mistake. Yes, our first league win under David Moyes was in November, and some of the names involved in that team on that day is just a who's who of some of the worst players ever to play for Sunderland. So we're going to avoid that. We're going to do a nice little quick fire quiz. There have been 7 players who, in kind of like the Stadium of Light era, the more recent memory, have played for both Bournemouth and Sunderland. We're going to have a guessing game. I'm just going to give you both a couple of clues, and it's fastest finger first. All right?
Go on,
No
then.
complaints. I don't want to hear any crying about somebody's Wi-Fi being on a delay or anything like that. It's just for a bit of a laugh. First up, it was a goalkeeper. He's played for Bournemouth and Sunderland. He was at Bournemouth from 2013 to 2015, and he joined Sunderland on loan in 2018.
Ooh. 2018 on loan. Lee Camp? Oh,
Camp.
I've already mentioned him today.
Lee Camp, 1-0 to Gab.
I'm glad you got that right, Gav, because I didn't want to say his name.
To be honest, I didn't even know he played for Bournemouth. I was just thinking of who played for us around then. Thought, yeah, he sounds exactly the type of journeyman shite that would have played for Bournemouth.
I actually think he's quite popular at Bournemouth. I think they love him.
He would be, wouldn't he?
Listen, a couple of those names in the David Moyes era were scary, and a couple more of these names in here are as worrying as Lee Camp. So buckle in, lads. It isn't going to be fun. Like I say, all of these players have played for Bournemouth and Sunderland. The next one was a striker. He had 2 spells with Bournemouth and 2 spells with us.
Ooh.
And if you can't get it, I can give you a bit of a clue.
Jermaine Defoe. Has to be.
Yeah.
It's Jermaine Defoe.
Yes, I'll take that.
Gab's 2-0 up. And I noticed Gab isn't
Are you writing these down, by the way?
I
Make sure
am.
you get the scores right.
I am.
Oh,
And
nice.
I noticed Gav isn't complaining this time because he's got the first 2 questions right.
He's winning.
when he's not getting them, he goes in a right huff. He gets the lip out. Third one, and you're gonna have to try and beat Gav this time. It's another striker.
Antoine Semenyo.
No, unlucky. Although, do you know what it is? I haven't set a question about Anton Semenyo, so...
Oh, man.
My
I was
God.
literally going to be saying him for every other question.
Yet again, I'm mucked up.
I mean, when he said striker, but that made me think, well, it's not Semenyo. Is it Lewis Graben?
It is. It's Lewis Graben. Striker joined us on loan in 2017 from Bournemouth. Right. Who've we got next? Here we go. This lad was a defender who joined Sunderland in 2007. He joined Bournemouth in 2013, and they proved to be his last club. Although, to be honest, when he signed for us 6 years earlier, his career was already winding down, I thought. So yeah, that's a defender who joined us in 2007.
Ian Hart.
Ian Hart. Well done.
I'm smashing you here.
You're getting them. How do you know he went to Bournemouth?
To be honest, I don't even know.
Honestly, hand on heart, thought he was our last. I thought we were his last club.
Well,
He just retired.
Exactly. He didn't. He had 3 or 4 clubs after Sunderland.
Didn't he go to Reading and score like quite a lot of goals for a left back as well? Because he did look finished for us, and then I'm fairly certain. I would have to look it up quickly now, but I'm pretty certain that Ian Hart went to Reading and was like a goal scoring defender. 15 goals in 88 games, and before that he played for Carlisle and got 19 goals in 52 games. So he like completely reinvented himself.
He must have it in for Sunderland because he wasn't wasn't turning out those stats for us, and since then he's turned into a bit of a one over Jack Clark and that. So I And mate, I'm really sorry. Gav's already beat you. We've only got 3 more.
Ah, there he is.
Oh, well, let's play for the fun.
Aye.
See if I can whitewash
See
him.
if you can get a clean sweep.
Yeah. Well, other people might be listening as well, you know.
Exactly.
It's another striker who had a short loan with Bournemouth in 2015, having left us in 2010.
Ooh.
Gav, I need to see your
Mm-hmm.
hands to make sure you're not like cheating or tapping away on the keyboard there, looking for clues.
When you say
2010.
play for Sunderland when? Sorry, 2010.
He'd left us in 2010.
And he had a loan with Bournemouth.
Yeah, so 5 years after leaving us, he went on a short loan with Bournemouth.
Kenwyn Jones?
Kenwyn Jones.
I'll take it.
There is going to be
I don't know.
There is going to be a steward inquiry.
How do you know he went to Bournemouth?
I vaguely remember it. I don't know. I'm just sad and
There is going to have
mentioned
to
before. Mentioned before, we're all losers.
I'm the biggest loser. I'm the biggest loser.
There is going to have to be a steward's inquiry because Gav,
I don't mind at all.
Wiping the floor. You are wiping the floor.
I've got my arms crossed. You can see it.
Oh, I know. And
how many have we got left?
2 more. And bless you, you're having a terrible day with your season card carry on as well. So this is just making it worse. I feel for you.
Not mentioned that on Semenyo. Had you mentioned that game against him when Moisey won, I'm going to tell you the goal scorer was off that, but no, didn't know any of these.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a sympathy point for Anton Semenyo, even though there wasn't a question for him. Right, 2 more. We'll get this done and dusted. This was a defender who, in his early days, had a career, a short loan early in his career, at Bournemouth. But then he had a much longer stint with us that started in 2011.
2011.
Bill Bardsley.
No, but you're along the right lines.
Where's Brown?
Right back.
No, not
John O'Shea?
John O'Shea.
John
O'Shea. In the end.
Aye.
His next one.
He had a couple of loans. I think he went to a team in Belgium, and then he had a brief spell down at Bournemouth. I had
no idea I even played for him. Honestly, I didn't.
We got a 7-baller now, Gabba.
I'll tell you what. By the way, I've just searched John O'Shea, Bournemouth, and they put a post out when he retired of him in a shirt. I genuinely had no idea I even played him. It was the clue about him signing in 2011 and having a long stint with us. I was like, well, can only really be 2 players then? But yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah. So that was John O'Shea. Last one, and to be fair to you, and if you don't get this one, there is no shame, because I think you, me, Gav, and all of the listeners will have had this lad on their want to forget list alongside Lee Camp.
Oh, Christ.
Supposedly able to play in defence and midfield, but not sure about that. He had 3 spells at Bournemouth, twice on loan.
I know who it is. Should I jump in or not?
Is it
Mark Wilson?
Man?
Mark Wilson.
It was Mark Wilson. Who were you going to say there, Ant? Sorry.
No, I was thinking along those lines actually. So I knew he played for Bournemouth.
So
they
had him.
Have I just 7-balled, and
you've 7-balled us, mate.
You've done him dirty there. Like Mark Wilson, he was at Bournemouth on loan twice, and they still decided to sign him. They made him permanent, give him a 2-year deal. From what I can tell, when he became permanent, he didn't play a single league game for them once he was on a full-time deal with them, and they were happy to let him go for free to us a year before his deal was due to expire. So
who's the biggest mugs there, them or us?
Tell you else,
like we were bloody desperate when we signed him.
Yeah.
You know, remember I think it was deadline day in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
We had no money. We were shite.
Yeah.
Is that when we signed like who else did we sign? Him in midfield, Ajaria. We signed him, didn't we? In the same day, and we signed another lad on. Was it Callum McManaman?
It was Ajaria. Was the winter? Was like the January transfer window. I think McManaman and Mark Wilson were the same day, and I'm worried to say this out loud because we're talking about loyalty discounts. If the club hear me say this, they might jump up the price of my season card. When those two arrived, I remember being over the moon thinking those were the two players who were going to spearhead an automatic return to the Premier League. So that shows
how wrong we were.
How wrong we were.
Does that mean that when people listen to me and you being really positive on the air, they need to just ignore us?
Yeah, basically, because there's the proof that I'm.
Tell you what else you missed out as
now.
well, Andrew. You missed out Chris Mepham. He's played for both, hasn't he?
Well, Ant's actually got 100% record on the players who.
What is you've missed?
Because I didn't set any questions.
Gav putting out the Kenwyne Joneses of this world. No, like, I'm going to have it too.
And if there'd been questions about them, I might have got them as well. Maybe mine, maybe, I don't know.
In all seriousness, Mepham, bless him, he was a good player for us. So yeah. So I
like Chris Mepham. I really like him. Yeah.
Well, let's see if anyone can chin me next time, Andrew, when we do one of these.
I'm not doing another one of these ever again because
I might be the quiz master again. I'll put Andrew against Gav. That's a meeting of two minds. I'm the good. I always I see it. He's on this podcast. I can't remember what I did last week. Never mind who played for Sunderland and Bournemouth in 2010, 2015. You got an age house, man. I can't remember. Honestly, I can't remember what pair of socks I put on today.
Same. It's called getting old, and that's what it is. Anyways, I know. Well, that's it. That's it. I can still jibe at you too. I'm a little bit younger. Anyways, that was good fun, lads. Thanks very much. Been good crack.
Yes, thank you.
Same here. Enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Go home and read me all of the lads' book that I've gotten. So I'm ready for next time.
Get your homework done. Get some research done.
Who forgot next week?
Thanks to the listeners for joining us. Like I say, there's plenty to catch up on this week. If you haven't already listened to all of our offerings here at Haway The Podcast, we of course had the reaction to the game at the weekend, which was me, Johnny and Sam in the pub. And then the day after, the more measured chat, we had Jeff Brown, the local TV legend on the show, also a massive Sunderland fan. He joined Chris to chat about the Fulham game and all the fallout we had on this week. This week, Andrew, and I'm going to put you on the spot. What did you talk about? He hates when I do this.
I do hate when you do this. The current episode refers to a story from 1891 where, because of Sunderland getting done over by the ref, it eventually led to us getting goal nets. So there you go.
Yeah.
I'm chuffed. I'm chuffed with myself. I've redeemed myself. I remember that one.
Yeah.
It's a decent episode, and Keldon and Martin are on top form on that one.
Brilliant. So people can catch up with that. There was the Q&A, which we've referred to repeatedly on this show. And of course, this one. And then coming up before the Bournemouth game, of course, there will be plenty for you to get your teeth stuck into. We'll have the reaction pod after the game, of course, which won't be a podcast with it being an away game, but we'll be back straight after the match. And then the following day as well, we've got Alexander Smith from the Bournemouth Daily Echo join us on the opposition preview. So lots and lots and lots to either catch up on or get ready for. Also head to rotoreport.sbnation.com for your daily fan-written content over there. We are at Rotor Report on all the socials. If you want to get your questions in for next week's Q&A, make sure you email them to us at Haway The Podcast, safc@gmail.com. We've had a few people get in touch this week just asking basically, saying, I don't use Twitter and I don't plan on using Twitter. How can I send questions? So yeah, that is the other way you can get in touch with us if you don't answer the call on social media. So lots to get stuck into, as I say. Make sure you catch us on the next one, and we'll see you later.